Greetings, my friends. Please consider supporting me in my war to save pop culture by subscribing to my channel and possibly even becoming a channel member for exclusive videos, access to Doomcock emojis, and more. And if you like this video in particular, please consider using the new Super Thanks feature and putting a tip in the tip jar located next to the like buttons down at the bottom of the video. Thank you for watching, and now, on to the video. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth. And now at last we know what it was that Kathleen Kennedy did to the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series, thanks to inadvertent revelations from none other than Ewan MacGregor himself at a recent appearance at Fan Expo in Boston this past Sunday. Oh, my friends, the truth will always out, and in this case it slipped out quite by accident. If you recall, the Obi-Wan series was all set to shoot several years back, literally about a week away from the start of principal photography, and at that point, Kennedy abruptly halted all production right in its tracks and said that the show had to be rewritten from page one. At that time, none of us knew whether Kennedy had stopped the production in order to pollute it with more wokeness, or if Chapek, Favreau, and Filoni had halted it to take out wokeness from Kennedy. Well, as it turns out, thanks to Ewan MacGregor, we know what happened. We now know how Kennedy made it worse, and we know that it could have been and should have been a lot better were it not for Kennedy's pathological hatred of Luke Skywalker and her desire to spawn a global matriarchy to replace the so-called patriarchy, which she is trying to bring about by killing and degrading every male Star Wars hero she can sink her claws into.
I'm not surprised in the slightest, dude. You can trust gravity to make a dropped hammer fall. You can count on water to make you wet. You can count on fire to be hot. And you can count on Kathleen Kennedy to completely destroy anything she works on, sacrificed on the altar of woke and agenda. I think there are quantum physics equations that predict this. It's a physical law at this point, as certain as stink on duty. Something like E equals MC suck. Knock, knock. Who's there? Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy who? Kathleen Kennedy who destroyed Star Wars. That's who, you cis-white male oppressor. Read!
Well, I'm not sure of the math or the knock-knock jokeability of this phenomenon, but I am certain now of what happened behind the scenes at Lucasfilm, and it's every bit as bad as we feared it would be. Star Wars fans were aghast and perplexed at how this TV series basically sodomized Star Wars canon with a red-hot poker of woke up the wazoo when it created this big connection between Obi-Wan Kenobi and young Leia Organa, almost completely ignoring and marginalizing young Luke Skywalker, who was absolutely the whole reason why Obi-Wan was living on Tatooine all those years in the first place. He was supposed to be guarding Luke, training to commune with Qui-Gon, and biding his time. All of that was completely chucked out the window in this feckless bit of cultural vandalism when Obi-Wan abandons Luke to go running off after Leia when she gets herself kidnapped by agents of the amazing Wanda Riva, the bestest Inquisitor ever. He abandons Luke, abandons his mission, runs around with Leia, they have bonding and all that crap, and at the end he kneels before her and goes on and on and on about how she's the bestest princess ever. And then, I guess, they promptly forget all about each other since they really don't have any relationship whatsoever in the original Star Wars. She addresses him formally in her taped appeal to secure his aid in delivering the Death Star plan safely to the rebels. And when Obi-Wan dies in the original Star Wars, Leia has no reaction at all. You see, that's when you can be sure that something violates canon and should therefore be ignored. When you have to twist yourself into pretzels of prevarication to try and explain away massive problems with the original source material created by subsequent sequels, revisions, reboots, and vandalisms. When that happens, you know you've been screwed over, and you know that what you've just seen is false. Kathleen Kennedy ruined the Obi-Wan series and vandalized the original Star Wars by ensuring that the two allegedly canonical stories cannot be reconciled. In essence, Kennedy is undermining everything George Lucas did, obliterating the extended universe, and dispersing and diluting the fan base by making it impossible for old fans and new fans to ever agree on anything. But it didn't have to be that way. According to a recent article at comicbook.com, Ewan MacGregor revealed Kennedy's perfidy this past Sunday. As the article puts it, quote, "At one point, Obi-Wan was being developed at Lucasfilm as a film trilogy, following the eponymous Jedi protecting a young Luke Skywalker from Tusken Raiders on Tatooine. After Solo bombed with fans and critics alike, the Kathleen Kennedy-led studio shelved future movies in hopes of a better solution. Along came Disney Plus, which gave the outfit a chance to tell longer stories in the form of television shows. Obi-Wan was quickly announced as one of those shows, initially borrowing from the discarded film heavily. While the series that was released on Disney Plus focused on Obi-Wan and his journey across the cosmos to aid a young Leia Organa, the show nearly focused on Obi-Wan and Luke entirely. It was going to be a story about me and Luke. It was always going to be that. And that was one of the genius moments when everyone went, wait a minute, and then changed it, MacGregor said during his spotlight panel at Fan Expo Boston on Sunday, unquote. Well, of course, Ewan MacGregor, or as I call him, Obi-Woke Kenobi, is going to kiss Kennedy's ass in this. But what he calls a genius moment was the moment when Canon was destroyed and quality took a steaming dump right from the backside of Darth KK. Imagine a movie trilogy centered on Obi-Wan Kenobi, showing Kenobi building a relationship with young Luke instead of Leia. Of course, you run all sorts of risks of canon contamination if you do this. After all, Luke really doesn't know Obi-Wan at the start of Star Wars, so the idea that they had a grand adventure that Luke subsequently forgot is problematic in and of itself, but at least it would be in keeping with the spirit of the original trilogy and the prequels. Luke is incredibly important in Star Wars, and that's something Kennedy can't fucking stand. She hates Luke, hates Lucas, wants to smash the patriarchy that dared to waste her many talents making coffee all those years for men. And now that she's been in charge of Star Wars and has repeatedly degraded the franchise, cost Disney billions and shattered the fan base with her obsessive woke propaganda, we see why she was making coffee back in the day.
Making coffee was her first best destiny. Anything else is a waste of material. I suspect Kennedy would also be good at making cocoa, don't you think? Probably. I have faith that Kathleen Kennedy can boil water and open a packet of cocoa and put it in a cup. Call me a dreamer, but I bet she could pull it off. But running a company? Nah. Stick to coffee, hun. You ruin a cup of coffee, it's easy to go get another cup. Ruin a franchise that took 40 years to build? Not even Mrs. Olsen can fix that shit. How did that jingle go? The best way to fuck it up is KK's woke ass touch.
When you're right, Harvey. As Mr. Whipple would say, don't squeeze the Charmin. You'll need it to wipe the shit off the president's chair at Lucasfilm when KK finally retires. But enough old commercials. I better stop before the Kool-Aid dude smashes through the wall. The article continues, quote, "While the show was initially envisioned as a limited series, Kennedy has since said the studio has talked about doing a second season due to the fan response."
Are you fucking kidding? The fan response? The fan response was to run away, throw up, or cancel Disney Plus. Is this woman mad?
You really have to ask that question, Skull of Calderon. By their deeds shall ye know them, right? Kennedy was quoted as saying she wanted to make season 2, quote, mainly because everybody came together and had such an incredible time. Ewan had an incredible time. Hayden had an incredible time. So certainly from that point of view, everyone involved would love to see this not end. But we have to finally spend our time asking the question, why would we do it? If we were to decide to do anything more with the Obi-Wan character, we'd have to really answer the question, why, unquote. Well, for Kennedy, The only reason why she does anything is to destroy Star Wars, destroy the patriarchy, destroy the fandom, and eventually destroy Western civilization one shattered myth at a time. At last we know the truth, my friends. We could have had an Obi-Wan series starring young Luke Skywalker, but instead we had the Leia and Reva show, guest starring the cowardly deserter formerly known as Obi-Wan. I think a second season of this shit show is an empty threat of Kennedy's, but I suppose only time will tell. But rest assured, if they do a season 2, it will surely suck just as bad as season 1. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.